So I've been thinking about some different designs for a back porch sitting area. And one of the things that always looks pretty bad in these areas is a trash can. So I got online to see if I could find some wooden waste bin covers and was blown away at the price of these things. So check this out. They are wanting $1,500 for this thing. And after I saw this one, I tried to find more for a lower price. And after I found this one, it got me curious and I started looking up the prices of others. They all range from $700 to $1,500. That's insane. So you know how we roll on this channel. I had to make one, and it turned out pretty awesome. So I ended up making mine out of cedar, but in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make this out of 1x6 pine. Are you ready to get your build on? Let's hop into it. So the first thing that we're going to need to do for this build is to decide what material that we're going to use. Since I want this to be heavy duty and last for years and years, I'll be using some 3/4 material. Now you can literally use any 3/4 inch material that you'd like. I'm just going to be using 1x6 pine. We can still paint, stain, or really do anything that we want to this. And then throughout the video, you'll see some of the parts kind of transition into cedar because my final product is going to be cedar. So again, just keep in mind that the measurements that I'm going to be giving out is the most important thing. Now that we've decided what we're going to build this thing out of, let's get busy. So the first parts that we're going to cut will be for the 4 side panels. And essentially this entire project is made up of making these panels. And one of the first things that we're going to have to decide about making these side panels is if we want to build each side with 2 panel inserts, or if we want them to be full length inserts. And what I mean by that is if you look at this picture, it's kind of like a cabinet. It looks like that there's 2 separate panels kind of inset in. They left their panel boards full length and then just put cross bracing in. So you can definitely do that and maybe save on some cuts. But to keep everything easier to handle, for this project, I'm going to be making separate panels for each one of those. So now with that out of the way, we're going to start off by cutting our 1x6s down. As always, I'll be teaching you step by step on how to build this project. But if you're a plans in the hand type of person, I've got you covered. I built my entire plan library around something that I call Lego plans. That means exploded views, x-ray views, and clear diagrams for every single step. With over 11,000 5-star reviews, these plans have helped thousands of people of every skill level build successfully. So if you're interested in the easiest plans on the internet to build from, head over to my website. I'll make sure to throw a link in the description. For each one of our panel inserts, we'll be needing 4 boards that are 17.5 inches long. So 8 boards per side. So we're going to start off by cutting the panel boards that we need for all 4 sides. So you may be wondering why I'm choosing to cut these boards into smaller sizes now versus after I rip them down on the table saw. I'm cutting this into smaller pieces before I rip it, just in case there's any bow in this board. By cutting our parts to size now, it will pretty much get rid of any bow that you may have. And then at the table saw, we're going to take all of our panel boards and we're going to rip those down to 5 inches wide. Right, so now that we have these panel boards cut, and this is just the material for 1 panel, so it would be 4 times this. But the next thing that I want to do to this is to dress it up a little bit. You know how I am with adding a little bit of decoration at the table saw? So let's do it to this. Each one of these boards is going to butt up against another board. So to add a little decoration to that, let's cut a little miter on the end of each one of these boards. That way whenever you put them together, it makes a nice little V in the middle. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And then to set our saw up for this little V notch, we're simply going to set our saw blade up for 45 degrees, and then move our fence in to 4 3/4 of an inch. After everything's set, we'll run each side of all of our boards through the saw. So this little V that I'm putting in is just going to be for decoration. Do you have to do it? No. But again, little things like this is what's going to set your builds apart. And if it's something as simple as this, why not do it? All right, so now that we have these cut, and this is going to look really good whenever we put this together as a panel. Let's go ahead and cut our legs for this build. So for our legs, we need to make some 2x2s or 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. And for that, I'm going to be using some 2x4 material, but honestly, you can use any dimensional lumber for this. We're going to need 4 legs that are 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches by 38 inches. Since our 2x material is already 1.5 inches thick, we just need to cut this down to 1.5 inches wide. Or if you didn't want to cut this down, yeah, you could buy some 2x2s, but this will be a lot cheaper. Okay, so now with our legs cut, I'm only making 1 side of this. And again, for this, you would actually have 4 of these legs. I only have 2 because I'm going to be switching to cedar here shortly. But after you get your legs cut, let's go and cut 1 more part, and we can start putting all this stuff together. And the last parts that we're going to need to cut, I'm calling the rails. And to start off, we'll be needing 9 of the horizontal rails that are 2 inches wide by 20 inches long. Now, this will be enough rails for 3 of the sides. One of the sides we'll build separate because we're going to make a door in it. And for this, I'm just cutting down some leftover pieces from my panel boards. Okay, so now that we have our parts cut, let's go ahead and put together one of these panels. And essentially the way that I want these things laid out will look something like this. Leg on each side. And this is just kind of a rough example, but this will allow you to kind of get a visual of where we're heading with all this. Something like that. So pretty simple panel, but with all of this joined together to be nice and solid. So since I'm not going to be insetting each one of these panel boards, I want to go ahead and join those together. Now you can glue those up with wood glue and clamps if you'd like, or you do like I'm going to do. I'm going to use some pocket hole screws. Then as far as cutting the pocket holes in the material, I'm going to install 2 per board about 2 inches away from each end. So to join these together, we'll need to cut pocket holes in 6 of our boards per side. Or if you're cutting everything at once, you'll need 24 boards. Alright, so now that we have those cut, let's go ahead and join these panel boards together. So for each one of these 2 panel boards, I'm just going to put the one board with no pocket holes facing down to the far left. Then I'll line up 3 boards behind it with pocket holes. Then I'm going to add a little wood glue to each board just to strengthen everything up. Then we'll install our pocket hole screws. And like I said earlier, you can always skip the pocket hole screws and just glue this up. But if you're not wanting to wait for the glue to dry, use pocket hole screws. Okay, so now that we have our 2 small panels put together that we're going to use to make our big panel, check it out. Those little V grooves that we took just a couple minutes of extra time to cut, they look great. So now that we have our panel boards put together and ready for install, let's go ahead and prep our remaining parts. To prep our 3 rails that we're going to be needing per side, we'll put 2 pocket holes on the ends of each one of these. This will allow us to install these from the back without any hardware showing. Now that you have your pocket holes cut in the ends of all of your rail boards, one last thing that I'm wanting to do to these legs before we actually put these things together is to add a little bit of a decorative cap to these things. Again, anything that you can think of to do to kind of spice these things up, let's do it. I'm just going to measure in 1 inch from the end all the way around the top of my board. Once I have all 4 legs marked, let's head over to the miter saw. At our miter saw, we're going to set up to cut 45 degrees. And then using my line, I'm going to make a series of cuts all the way around this board. And once we have all of our sides cut, we're left with a decorative point. And then we'll just repeat this simple step for our remaining legs, and then we're ready to start putting this thing together. And now with the tops added to our legs, let's go and get these marked out for our rail spacing. And to do that, I'm going to mark the inside of 2 legs at 3 inches, 19.5 inches, and 36 3/4. This is going to be where the top of each rail board meets our leg. And now that we have that, let's go ahead and install our rails. And for this, again, I'm using some wood glue and 1.25 inch pocket hole screws. So if you're putting all of the sides that you need together as you go, you'll have 2 of these frames. And the reason why you're only going to have 2 of these is because we're going to be connecting these 2 together using rails. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But before we move on to that, let's go and attach our panels to the inside of each one of these assemblies. Alright, so there's going to be a couple of different ways that you can do this. As you can see, they fit right inside of these legs perfectly. Now we just need to attach these to our legs. So one of the ways that you can do that is to put some screws to the ends into the rails and attach it that way. Or since we are already using pocket holes, you could do it the way that I'm going to do it. I'm going to put 2 pocket holes on each side of each panel and then fasten these things to my legs. And then just to lock everything down, I'll probably add a couple of screws at the top and bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my 4 pocket holes into each one of these panels, and I'm going to install these using wood glue and pocket hole screws. Alright, so check it out. So like I was saying earlier, you'll need 2 of your sides that will look like this. Then we'll make up the opposite 2 sides as we put this thing together. All right, so I told you earlier that at some point I'm going to be switching over to cedar. Now's that point. Basically, I built 2 of the sidewalls, just like I showed you how to on this pine, just out of cedar. So as of now, as far as the parts that we have cut, we have 2 completed sidewalls. We have 4 more of our panels, and then we have 3 more of our rails. Now keep in mind these 3 rail parts is just enough for 1 more side, and that's because the last side we're going to make it where we can open this thing up and remove our trash container. So we'll have to design that one just a little bit different. We'll get to that here in a minute. So for this next step, let's go ahead and start putting our walls together. Okay, so to put these sides together, we need to attach our rails to the two side assemblies. Now, I've already cut pocket holes in the ends of all my rails, so let's get those installed. And for these rails, we will install these the exact same way that we did for our assembled panels. And as far as our spacing goes, we'll use the exact same spacing as we did before. So now that we have our two sides connected, let's go ahead and put those back panels in. And I've already pre-drilled my pocket holes for these panels, just like we did for the first one that we built. Now you'll notice that I have about an inch gap on the inside of my two panel boards, right in the middle. And if you don't remember that gap from the first one that we built, it's because it's not there. If you go by the dimensions that I've given you, you won't have this gap in the panel. But what I did with mine was cut my legs 1 inch too long. But instead of taking it all apart to trim those down, I'm just going to leave a 1 inch gap between my two panels. You won't be able to see this from the outside. All right, so check this out. We have 3 sides together, and you can kind of see what it's going to end up looking like. Pretty sweet. One more side to build, and then the top. So let's get to it. Okay, so to finish this back panel up, I'm actually wanting to put a hinged door in this. So let's go ahead and build that. So to start off with, let's install a top and bottom rail that's the same length and size of the rest of our rails. For our door frame, we'll be needing 5 boards that are 2 inches wide. We'll need our 2 side boards that are 27 3/4 long with pocket holes in each end. Then we'll need our top and bottom boards that are 19 3/4 and our center board that's 15 3/4 with pocket holes on each end. And then for the placement of this center board, I'm going to measure from the inside of this frame 19 3/4 of an inch. Now I'll make sure to put the edge of my center board against that. And now that we have our door frame assembled, let's go ahead and install our back panels. I guess I should have waited to glue up these door panels because they're too big. So I'm going to head back to the table saw and trim up both of these panels to 16 3/8 by 19 3/4. That should fit perfect. And for these, I'm just going to screw these to the frame from the back. I like to install my screws 2 inches from each edge and then 1 in the center of each side. And if you wanted to install any of these screws on the back of your other panels, it would just tighten everything up. Completely up to you. And just like the other panels, mine's going to have this 1 inch gap in the middle that yours won't have. Well, I guess I should have measured twice. Now with our door assembled, let's go ahead and get it attached. All right, so this thing is looking pretty awesome. Let's make sure that our door is going to fit. And voila. This is good. So one thing that I want to install before I actually attach my door is a little stop block here. So this is a 2 inch by 6 inch block. And I'm going to attach this on the inside of my frame. So the block itself will be 16 inches from the bottom. Then as far as the inset, I'm going to put it on the inside edge of my leg. So this little block's just going to keep my door from going in too far after I put my hinges on. Speaking of hinges, let's go ahead and get those installed. All right, so for my hinges for this, I'm going to be using 3 of these 4-inch strap hinges. These things look pretty cool and it's going to match this thing perfectly. Personally, I just like the look of these strap hinges, or also called T-hinges. But if you don't like this look, you can really use any hinge that you want. And as far as the placement goes, I'm just going to line these up with each one of my rails. And then to install our door, I'm just going to put a couple of washers on this bottom rail just to use as spacers. I'll also use the washers as spacers for the sides. All right, so check this out. Not too shabby. And if you want, you can install a little lock here or a handle, but again, completely up to you. Now that we have all of the sides and the door put together, let's go and finish this up by installing the top. All right, so to build our top, we're going to need 4 boards that are 21.5 inches long by 5 inches wide, and 2 boards that are 2 inches wide, 20 inches long, and has pocket holes on each end. We'll start off with these. These are going to be our top supports. And to install these, I'm going to measure over 1.5 inches on 2 sides opposite of each other. Then once I have that marked, I'm going to install my supports in between the 2 panel boards. Our top supports are going to support the overhangs. Now since this is going to have 3/4 material sitting on top, this board will be 3/4 of an inch below the top of our rail. Now with those installed, let's cut our 4 top boards. Now since we already have these cut to 21.5 inches long, we need to add a 45-degree angle to each one of the ends. And one last thing before we leave the miter saw, let's go ahead and measure 3/4 of an inch from each tip, and then we'll cut those square. You'll see here in a minute why we need to do that. So now with our tops cut, let's go and install our 2 boards that are on the opposite ends of our rails. For the screw placement, I'm going to measure over 4¼ inch, and then measure up from the outside edge 2½ inches. And I'll mark this exact same measurement in all 4 corners. Now with those marked, let's go ahead and pre-drill our screw holes. And to make sure that my material doesn't split, I'm going to go ahead and countersink these as well. And for this, we'll be using some exterior wood screws. Now with those installed, let's go ahead and slide our last 2 boards into place. And the screw placement for these 2 sides will be 6 inches, 11¾ and 17¼ and they'll be 4¼ inches away from the outside wall as well. And there we have it. We've made something that they're selling for $1,000 to $1,500 using low-cost common building material. And I think that ours turned out pretty stinking awesome. So even if you're not interested in building one of these, I hope that you can take some of the techniques that we use to kind of decorate this thing up and apply those to other builds that you have. And if you are interested in making one of these, you know exactly what your next step is. Get up, get out, get your build on. Till next time, we'll see you. Imagine taking a pile of wood and turning it into something amazing. Now, imagine doing that without years of frustration. You do not need a fancy workshop, expensive tools, or years of experience. With Woodworking Kickstart, you'll build confidence and real skills in no time. So you can spend years making mistakes and learning the hard way like I did, or you can start building with confidence today. So join me in Woodworking Kickstart and let's get your journey started.